welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you some tips, tricks, and hacks that I think are great for when you're flying with a toddler or a preschooler. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we've flown a couple times in their little lives, and these are some things that I found super helpful when we were flying. And I want to point out that I'm no expert in this, but this is just my mommy opinions on what has worked for us. Some of these things might not work for you, but they have been working for us. So we are actually going to be getting on a flight tomorrow night. We're taking a red eye. As this video goes up, I will be already in our destination. We're going to Tampa, Florida to visit my in-laws, and we're spending an entire week at the beach. We're going to the same exact beach that we got married at, and we're gonna stay right across the street from our wedding location, and I'm so excited. We need this vacation so badly. So this is what made me think of filming this video, because I myself used to research tips and tricks to calm my nerves about bringing a child on the plane, because sometimes it can be really scary, really intimidating, especially not knowing how your child is going to be on the flight and knowing you're going to be surrounded by strangers in a small space for over a couple hours at least. So that is why I wanted to film this for you guys, and maybe you can learn something from me and my experience. If you'd like to see my tips, tricks, and hacks for flying with your little ones, then please keep watching. So the first tip that I have that I think is one of the biggest ones is to fly around your child's scheduled sleepy time, whether that's nap time or bedtime. And I know if you're taking a really long flight, that's kind of impossible, because they're obviously, if you're flying internationally, you're gonna be having different wake and sleep times. But in our experience, we've only done flights that were up to 5 or 6 hours at the most with them, and we usually take red eyes. Now, some people are afraid of red eyes with kids, because if they did wake up and cry, it kind of feels like you're disturbing everybody else who's trying to sleep on the plane. But they're more likely to sleep well if it's their normal bedtime. So whenever we get to the airport, the kids would already be super tired. We try our best to keep them awake as much as possible through the entire day before the flight. And by the time they get on the plane, their second that plane takes off, they hear the sound and the motion, they're usually knocked out, which is amazing for mom and dad who want to get some rest on the plane too. So speaking of sleep, I would always bring a blanket, some sort of small blanket, nothing too big, but a blanket maybe that your child loves at home or that they're used to from their house. Maybe a little pillow if you have one. Even those neck pillows they sell at the airport work great. Maybe a stuffed animal that they really love. And I always try to remember to bring socks, because my feet, I don't know about you, but my feet on the plane are always freezing. And if your child is really cold, they're not going to be able to sleep well. So just try to make sure that they're as comfortable as possible for their flight. Also, try to remember that some airlines require birth certificates and certain documents if your child is under the age of 2. If they're under the age of 2, they do fly for free, and they will be most likely a lap child unless you want to buy a seat with a car seat. So make sure you have their birth certificate, and make sure you check with the airline beforehand to see if they require one or not. Now, speaking of the car seat, not everyone thinks a car seat is a good idea on the plane. I personally have flown with my children as lap children in the past, but I do think that having a car seat is really beneficial, because they're used to that car seat in the car. They usually will fall asleep in that car seat in the car. It keeps them restrained if, you know, during takeoff and landing, or when the seatbelt sign is on and you're not supposed to really have them up and about and they need seatbelts on. And a lot of people do think it is safer to have your child in a car seat in case of turbulence or anything like that. If you do want to get a car seat that's super convenient for the airplane, they have the rolly car seats that have the thing like a suitcase, the handle that comes up, and you can kind of sit your kid in them and ride them along the airport. I think that is so amazing, because if not, someone's going to be carrying that car seat for you, or I believe they might have the push carts for you that you could also use as well. And if you don't want to fly with your car seat on the plane, you can check your car seat and your stroller for free under the plane with no extra charge. And your stroller that you push your child up to the terminal with, they will put that right underneath the plane right when you get on the plane, so you don't have to worry about, you know, having your child have to walk through the whole airport. So I always think that's great too. I should also mention that my dad, he has worked for an airline for over 30 years, so he's actually also helped me with some of these tips and tricks, giving me some ideas. He always thinks that a car seat is safer for a child under 2 at least. But, you know, to each his own. Hopefully they sleep well that way, and hopefully you can get some rest that way too. The next big one I have is snacks. So you are allowed to bring certain snacks and drinks, breast milk, formula for your child through security. And you can also buy snacks at the airport. Of course, they're way more expensive. So I would bring some really convenient little snacks that your child really likes from home, whether it's the Annie snacks, the fruit pouches, the smoothie pouches, if your child likes those. Something that's not too high in sugar. We made the mistake in the past of giving our kids like candy at the airport just to kind of make them happy, and then we realized they were completely wired for most of the flight. So make sure they're somewhat healthy and something your child likes to keep them busy. If they start to get kind of fussy or restless, a snack usually always will do the trick with a toddler or a preschooler. I actually got these today. These are actually meant for adults, but if you have a preschooler or a toddler who you think is old enough to be able to chew on this kind of nut, it's cashew, craisins, and cheddar cheese. They're the little Balance Breaks snack boxes. I love these for like a little snack, and I feel like these are really healthy and something that your child can maybe snack on during the flight if they need to. The next big one after snacks would have to be busy toys. So of course you want to keep something on you to make your child interested and happy if they are not sleeping. Our goal was to have them sleeping, but if they're not, you want to make sure they have something to play with or something to look at that will occupy them. Of course, you don't want to bring 1,000 toys because that's just going to make a mess and be chaos, but you want to bring a few things that will be easy and convenient. And so far, the number one thing that I'm sure you all can guess is an iPad or a tablet. So whether you're against electronics at home or not, I think a plane can be a good exception to this rule because you are trying to just keep your child distracted and occupied to get through the flight. And you know, we personally, our flight we're taking tomorrow night does not have the option of Wi-Fi. We're kind of taking a smaller airline. I believe we're doing Frontier, or is it Southwest or Frontier? I forget. So they don't offer Wi-Fi, but what we do is we download beforehand a ton of videos that our kids love to watch from YouTube, or if you have a Netflix account, you can even download some movies right from Netflix onto your tablet or your phone, and we kind of just have a bunch saved that will get us through the flight, and they can just watch those the whole time, and the amount of videos we save would keep them occupied. It will last them through the whole flight. So our tablets, we have 2 tablets, not iPads, they're just tablets through T-Mobile, but they work wonders, and those should help us a lot tomorrow. But say they get bored of their shows or they don't want to watch the tablet anymore, we have a few backup things. So Kylie is really into memory game and matching games right now. She has ones at home that are, you know, the cards. Of course, you can't bring 40 cards on an airplane. So we found this. It's by Melissa and Doug, which I absolutely love them. I love their line of toys. And it's, what happened? So the kids joined me because we had a little incident. They woke up from sleeping, so they're with me now in this video. So it might be a little bit crazy, but you know, these are the ones that I'm bringing on the plane. So I figured you could meet them anyways. So, okay, hold on. You gotta get on the bed. So back to what I was saying, this is the memory game that Kylie just got, and I think it'll be great for the plane. Even if it's night time and the lights are off, you can put on your little overhead book light, and she should be able to see this fine. Right now, she has colors in there, and there's tons of different categories. So there's colors, vehicles. Wait, let mommy show it.
No.
Okay. All right, you can hold on. Fruit, farm animals, and basically you just open the little door and you have to try to get matches. And when you do, there's a little score keeper down here. So Kylie should love this on the plane. Her and Daddy can play it, or her and me can take turns playing it, and that should keep us nice and happy for a while. So we also have some stickers, not a ton, coloring books. I doubt we're gonna really use these because like I said, it is a night flight, but you never know. It's better to be prepared than sorry. So we have just some sticker books from Dollar Tree. They have a ton. Say hi.
Hi.
Oh, don't bend this, sweetie. You don't want to bend that. And this one's actually cool. It's a travel, the light's bad. It's a travel sticker book. So these stickers can be removed and put back on. And there's different like traveling games, and you can make faces here with the stickers. All this from the Dollar Tree. This is another one that I didn't really think of before. It's not necessarily to keep your kids happy and content, but to keep you happy and content. My dad actually recommended this to me because like I said, my dad works for the airline, and he did remind me that coming on with small children, you should have some wipes or sanitizing wipes to wipe down your area. You always kind of get on the plane not realizing that there was people on the plane previously. I would definitely recommend bringing wipes or some wet ones, sanitary wipes to kind of wipe down your area before your child lays down on the seats, lays down on the trays, eats off the trays, things like that. Also, always bring a little pack of like travel tissues. We actually have colds right now. Typical timing that we caught colds right before a trip, but that's just how it works with kids, right? So grab these at the Dollar Tree too. Gonna bring some tissues with us. Of course, you can always use baby wipes, but tissues are better for the little noses, and you just want to be prepared. Also, a little fun fact, your diaper bag does not count as your personal item or your carry-on. So you can actually have a carry-on up top, personal item underneath, and your diaper bag, because they know that babies require lots of things sometimes. So make sure you pack everything for your child or your children kind of together in one bag if you can. That way you're not like rummaging through in a dark flight looking for all this stuff, and it just gets kind of chaotic. I personally hate that, especially if you're in a smaller airline with smaller seats and there's not much room. You want to make sure that you're not fumbling around and everything's kind of right there where you need it. Another one that is kind of personal to our family, not necessarily your family, maybe it is. We have a son, Liam, who I said is 2, who gets really bad morning sickness because I'm pregnant. He gets really bad motion sickness. He always throws up in long car rides, and in our last flight coming and going from my wedding in Florida, he threw up on landing. So that wasn't fun. It was not a fun experience. We want to be more prepared this time, so we did pick him up. Dramamine for kids. Make sure you talk to your doctor before you do give this to your child, but the Dramamine for kids is recommended for ages 2 to 12, and you are supposed to take it before the flight, and it should help calm their bellies if they do get motion sickness. And we made sure to give this a try with our son like the day before the flight to make sure he had no reactions or anything serious that could happen in flight. So we did make sure to try this on him before the flight, and we will be giving it to him tomorrow night for that flight as well. And it just helps. Also, speaking of like medications, if your child has problems with their ears, you can give them some Tylenol before the flight, or something to suck on during takeoff and during landing. So that's when the pressure can hurt their ears the most. So whether they have a pacifier or a bottle or a cup, a sippy cup they like to drink, or even like a lollipop or something just to have in their mouths to suck on while you're taking off or landing, that could help their ears. My son has tubes in his ears, which at first worried me. I didn't know if that would make his flight worse or actually help a lot because he has the tubes. We never really seem to have a problem with their ears yet, knock on wood, to where they were complaining or their ears are red. But you want to make sure you're prepared. I think they also even sell little chewable medications and things for your children's ears. I know we used to take them as kids. My mom used to always have them prepared on the flight because she was always afraid that we would get really bad ear pain. This is another one I think is an interesting one. Some people like to try to book their seats for the back of the plane or wherever the restrooms are because they know they might need to be getting up a lot with their child. I personally like to be towards the front of the plane with children, because in the back of the plane, the flight attendants are always up getting things ready. People are going in and out of the bathroom constantly, and that light could just disturb your children if they're trying to sleep. And if you're in the front of the plane, it's more calm and quiet and dark if you're in a night flight, like I said. Also, this is something that I've learned. Whenever we landed and it's time to get off the plane, my children usually wake up at that point, and when my kids wake up, they're very grumpy. And Liam, last flight, woke up and was miserable. He didn't cry the whole flight, but he did cry the second everyone was ready to get off the plane. I mean screamed, and this was a quiet plane at this point. Everyone was getting up, collecting their things, and trying to get off the plane, and Liam just started screaming, and it was giving me massive anxiety because I just wanted to get off, and I had to wait forever, it felt like, to finally get the doors to open, to get everyone to grab their carry-ons and to get off the plane. So if you're in the front, you could be one of the first ones off with your child, collect your stroller, and be on your way. Also, some airlines you might want to check beforehand. Some airlines do not offer milk on flight. I thought that was kind of crazy. I personally crave milk, especially during a night flight. I'm also pregnant right now, and I do love milk when I'm pregnant, and my kids of course like milk, and if they're trying to rest, milk is probably one of the best things to give them. And of course you can bring, with certain regulations, you can bring on your own milk formula like I said before, but make sure you know if your airline offers milk or not as a beverage, and if not, you can also buy it at the airport. So we usually buy the little, you know, the little milks that you could buy in the convenience stores at the airport before a flight. I think that is everything that I really have for you guys, but I hope this helped somebody. It definitely kind of helped me doing, hi, what are you doing? Doing my research over the years, and the biggest one I can save for last is just try your best to relax. I know traveling with children is stressful, and it's not the most fun, ideal thing in the world. I personally get very bad anxiety over flying, especially with my kids, because I just instantly think about all the worst things that can go wrong, as far as them feeling sick, them screaming the entire time. And of course it's unfortunate, but you have to realize that at the end of the day, they're young, small kids, and if you're doing your best you can to keep them happy, you've given them food, you've given them drinks, they're changed, they've gone to the bathroom, they're rested, and if they're hi, and if they're still miserable, you can't do anything else, and sometimes you just gotta let them cry. I mean, I know people aren't going to enjoy it, but you can't, but sometimes you can't control it, and they're in a new environment, they're in a small space, and it's not always going to go your way. You don't always know how your child's going to be. So just try and relax the best you can. Try to enjoy your flight and get to your destination, and just enjoy wherever you're going with your family. I hope these tips and tricks helped you guys a little bit, and I will let you know if they helped us at the end of our trip when we get back. Maybe I'll do a little update on how our flight was. I'm praying everything goes well. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit that little subscribe button if you're new to my channel. I post mommy videos, vlogs. I'm pregnant right now, so I've been posting a lot of pregnancy videos as well. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.